All right, welcome to the Beige Planet Podcast. I'm Paul Pate.
I'm Al Lawrence.
And we have our special guest, comic strip artist, Lonnie Millsap. Welcome, Lonnie.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good to have you.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So this is a podcast about people from all walks of life doing their artistic endeavors. Yours is comic strips. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, what I just do single panel cartoons. The goal is to try to get like a big laugh out of people. People compared to the Far Side, those kind of comics. I was always influenced by single panel stuff. I just like the laugh.
Okay, I'm going to try to share my
What's the general theme of your comic?
There's really not a theme. It's really more of it's all one shots. So in theory, if a book has 144 cartoons, the goal is to get a laugh on each page.
Oh, okay.
Shoot, now it's not letting me share my screen here. Shoot. Okay, we can find you at LonnieMillsap.com.
Right.
LONNIE Millsap. MILL SAP.
MILLSAP.
That got me because I tried MILASAP.
You get Ronnie Millsap then.
Yeah, right. Which is
the country singer.
Yeah, he's good. I'm not a big country fan, but I do like Ronnie Millsap.
We used to get some of his fan mail when I was a kid. They just, if there was no address on it, would come to my house.
Nice.
You should have sent it. You should have sent a picture back.
I think that would have caused some kind of started some issues.
Well, right now I'm thinking of that skit where because Ronnie Millsap is actually blind. So
yeah.
Right now, it somehow it made me think of that.
Dave Chappelle,
where he's the blind man.
Yeah, that's right. He was a Klan member and didn't know it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, so Lonnie, I was going to tell you about the fact that I already knew who you were. I mean, your comic strips, I had seen them before.
Really?
Yeah, so Jim Lujan, who we had on the show just a while ago, said, hey, I got a friend that would work great on this show, Lonnie Millsap. And I was like, yes. I know who he is. I've seen his cartoons because I'm a huge fan of Keith Knight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
And I gotta disclose that I'm like a big fan of his, almost to the point of stalkerish.
Really?
No, I sent him. He's like, I had already sent Keith a note saying, "Dude, I want to have you on my little podcast," But he never.
Oh, really?
But he never responded. So
I can talk to him.
If you want, I'm not asking you to though.
I will. I mean, he's friends like, go out to dinner and play tennis kind of friends, so we actually hang out.
Oh,
so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Cool. Yeah, I heard. Oh, go ahead, Al.
I wanted to get back to one of my questions about the strip. I mean, is there any particular subject matter that you cover, or is it just random, whatever comes to mind?
It's pretty much random, whatever comes to mind. I try to, I don't cuss in the strip, and I joke around about like, well, my parents can look at it, but I really try not to be like squeaky clean though at the same time. So,
okay.
I just try to be smart about it, and something just happened to the screen.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm bringing up
that one. Shows that I'm not squeaky clean.
Yeah, this is actually, it's funny that this one came up, and because this is probably the most risque thing I've seen on your strip here.
And that one's a little bit older, and I'll go to about that far, and then other than that, I won't get too extreme. But I want to get the laugh. I'm just looking for the laugh, but I don't want it to be all too sugar coated or sweet.
Right. Then this brings up the question that I had written about the fact that, like, I said you're like Bob Hope or Bill Cosby,
Yeah,
and like some of the strips. Well, like Keith Knight, maybe like Chappelle. I mean, he doesn't get
yeah,
his doesn't get real dirty, but
right,
it's a little more edgy, you know.
right.
But you keep it, Bob Hope, Bill Cosby type humor, main.
I would hope that I could have Bill Cosby's a good comedian. I'd hope to have a little more edge than that, but any
Well,
comparison is fine.
yeah, that was my question is how, um, so do you have, I'm sure you have the thought, I can't remember what comedian I heard the other day talking, but it's like, yeah, I have all these, the thoughts that are going through well, it may have been Jim,
Yeah,
it was like, I think about all this crazy stuff, but I only put certain things out there, you know.
I do. Yeah, I have a whole book of stuff. Yeah, I have sketchbooks full of other stuff that probably will never see the light of day.
The
But
Lonnie
I
rated
would
R Millsap.
right, the ones that would go to Hustler. But
Yeah,
I
who
don't.
does
Well, no, I know a writer for Hustler, so you know, but I try to I want everyone or almost everyone to be able to see it. I know that kids a lot of times aren't going to understand what I do, and those are probably my funniest cartoons, the ones that are sort of above younger people's heads.
So that's my problem is I don't have a filter. Uh, I've been I've been told that several times. I tend to just spew
That's
out
not a
everything.
problem.
We've been
That's
pretty
not
good
a
on this.
problem.
We've been pretty good on the podcast, Al.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can control myself here. I mean, but here we're really not regulated either. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
and then the only person watching is my mom anyway,
eh.
and our sponsors.
Yeah.
So, hey, so Lonnie, why do you do comics besides the for the money and the women?
Besides the money and the women, the laughter. I like. I'm relatively new at being involved in all this, so I go to conventions and stuff like that. I'm part of, I exhibit at Comic Con and some of those kind of conventions, and to get groups of people coming up to the table and all of them looking at my books at the same time and having them laugh, it's a lot of fun. It's intoxicating.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's
Yeah.
Uh, I would like to frame the question though a little bit differently. I
Uh-huh.
mean, so you're new to it,
Yeah.
but you weren't doing it before. I mean,
No.
why did you start? I mean, you don't have to do this.
Well, this is what I've sort of always wanted to do. Um, I went to college for art school, but I was just like a B student, who didn't really stand out. I always did cartoons, just sort of myself. And then there was one point where I took a summer school class by this, well-known artist now, and he said to put your stuff in sketchbooks. And so at that point, I did. Then after 25 years, I had 25 years worth of cartoons in my sketchbooks, and decided to put out my first book in 2010. And at that point, I sent the book to him. His name is Gary Panter, and he was well known for. He got an Emmy for designing Pee Wee's Playhouse and stuff. And
Oh,
and
wow.
he's a
okay.
well-known New York artist. And so the book got into his hands. He's best friends with Matt Groening from The Simpsons.
Oh,
Then
okay.
they put me in an exhibition in Baltimore right when my first book came out, and um, and after that, I got a little bit of notoriety, and then decided to put out a book every year. I thought I was just going to do one, so but it's what I've always wanted to do. I think I'm a little late, because of the publishing, is not the same as it used to be, bookstores
Right.
and all that. But it's all, ultimately I'd still like to be syndicated and everything. So
Yeah, that's getting to be that's different though now. I mean, that's
yeah, it is.
real tough to get into, right?
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get one of your books. I've actually got a couple of Keith Knight books. And
Okay. Okay.
Al, I don't know. These are great. I love
Yeah,
them.
they are.
I mean, he's my favorite comic
he was going to
no,
actually.
not
We
to
were
take away from you, Lonnie, but he's.
no. Like I said, one
but
of my
your
he's one of
books
my best friends.
are your books are similar to them because they're. I mean, he basically does a new page, you know, every day, and then puts out a book after a couple of years. Or,
You know what? He's so much better than me. Um,
it's just
he has
different. It's just different to me.
yeah, his is political,
Right.
and you know it takes. I don't understand how he does it. He has 9 deadlines a week. He's syndicated. He has 9 deadlines a week. He has to do 9 funny cartoons a week,
Yeah.
and he's political, and so he's able to. I have like 3 political cartoons ever. The rest of mine are about like cows and spaceships. You know.
Well,
Yeah.
right now we're in a political gold mine, so that should be pretty easy. I mean, that's everything that's going on.
Yeah.
He
I
has
don't
a
know
lot.
what side of the fence he's on, but
Well, you'll have to check him out, or we'll talk to him when he comes on the show.
He's good.
Yeah. Anyway, so do you have any other creative pursuits like besides comic strips?
You know, I focus pretty much on that. You know, I illustrated a children's book that came out in September.
Oh, okay.
Sort of the same style. It was a little bit irreverent. It's called the Cow Pie Chronicles. It is about a guy from the Midwest who was raised, about his adventures as a 10-year-old raised on a dairy farm. And so I was the illustrator, and you know, I had a lot of fun doing that. I do some freelance cartooning, and you know, I'm on the convention circuit right now, and actually like shopping for a publisher. A buddy of mine just got published with not Random House. I can't remember the name of the publisher all of a sudden, but I'm looking to do the same thing.
Cool.
speaking of children's books, I'm not sure where it's at. I came across an Australian children's book from a friend of mine who lives in Australia. She posted it, and it was something about it was a wombat story. And the male cuddles up with the female, mates with her, and then the female violently removes him from the den. And I'm like, this is a children's book? And I
well,
think
you know, a buddy of mine, you know, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think the kid was like in 5th grade. And, you know, I was kind of shocked by it, but go ahead.
Well, I have the buddy of mine that got the contract was with HarperCollins. His book is called Everybody Dies, a children's book for grown-ups. So it is a children's book.
Oh, you know what?
But it's like
it sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar?
Yeah, that sounds really familiar. I'm not sure where I've heard that before. Is it published?
It's published by HarperCollins. The release party is next week, actually, next weekend. But it's been out.
Oh, just more Lonnie Millsap. Sorry. Keep
okay.
Sorry.
It's been out for a couple of years, but then they finally picked him up as an author. So you might have seen it. Yeah, it did pretty well.
Yeah, I think I might have seen it at a bookstore down in DC.
More than likely, it was everywhere. It was everywhere as it was, and now it's a hardcover. He's added more pages. He's a good friend of mine too, mine and Keith's.
What's his name again?
David Urey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because I think it was my nephew that spotted it and pointed it out to me.
Okay. Well, it's co-written with a guy named Ken Tanaka, and but he's supposed to be his twin brother. But Keith Knight, and I, you know, we formed the Culver City Cartoonist Collective. So we're a tight group of friends. So yeah.
Is that kind of like the board or the collective?
Yeah, exactly.
Resistance is futile.
There he is, right there.
Here's David Urey. So he's got. Where's his?
He was in Breaking Bad. He was if you watch Breaking Bad, he was the guy that was killed by the ATM falling on his head.
Oh yeah, he was the junkie, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
But his alter ego is Ken Tanaka, and he writes a book. He's fluent in Japanese, and that is his alter ego.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Hope you didn't just give away a trade secret, but
No. It's his twin. It's his long lost twin brother.
okay.
So
Now, here's another strip of yours. Can you? The guy says, I don't know if you know we can see it on YouTube, but it's these guys that are looking at these farmers that are looking at this cow with these really long legs, and one farmer says to the other guy, "Can you go get the milking ladder?" And this is as cows evolve. Pretty good.
I got a response from that. I had a lady send me a message saying that she loves cows, but the legs are actually evolving to be shorter. And she sent me the message through Facebook. I just said thanks. I mean, I didn't really know it.
Oh, you have.
People do, people at times get upset that I'm not scientifically correct on some of the things that I do. So I do get some angry and some, a lot of people
Really?
laugh, but I get a few angry
You gotta
people from
save
time.
it. Yeah, I think you need to publish those. That's awesome.
Oh,
I had one.
Your next book, put viewer responses in it.
I should. I have one in
Oh.
particular. One lady got mad at me because it was a cartoon about someone who didn't have arms, someone whose arms are cut off, and it was the reason why they weren't able to call someone back on a cell phone. And the lady was just furious at me. She was just like, "Well, there are phones for people like that," and I didn't really know what to say. But
Yeah, what do you do?
yeah.
I'm laughing right now at this cartoon Paul's got up.
I shared this one on my Facebook page the other day.
This is hilarious.
And,
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is my comment is, of course we've all been there, right? In this situation, right?
Yeah.
We
It
have
happens
not
all the
gone
time.
there, Paul.
What? You don't use what is that? A magnifying glass or a mirror? It's a mirror, right?
The mirror, yeah.
This one is pretty risky or risque.
See, and that's why I call myself sort of the dirty Far Side, I guess. But Far Side would never do anything like this. But
Right.
my friend Melanie, I was riding in a car with my friend, and she told me it was like 6 months before I did this cartoon. She said, "Oh, I lost my contact lens." This is the first thing I thought of. She told me that. And then when I finally published the cartoon, she was like, was that about me? I was like, yeah. But she didn't lose hers there. I think she just lost hers in her apartment.
Well, that's awesome because I've tried to. It's actually one of the questions I forgot to. It reminds me of one that I didn't write down. I've tried to, be like, okay, I'm gonna do a comic strip a day, kind of like yours, and
Right.
my mind just doesn't work like that. Yeah, it's like the light bulb just goes,
Yeah.
burns out, So, what is the process how do you come up with these ideas? I mean, you just told us an example, but is there a process that you follow? Do you get writer's block, drawer's block?
I do. I get writer's block sometimes. I post cartoons 3 times a week. On Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I post new ones.
Okay.
And when I'm doing them, usually I have sort of the joke set up and everything, like the process. The joke will just pop into my head or an image. It'll come one or the other. But literally, as I'm getting ready to post it, the real punchline will come out. Like I'll have a punchline and then I'll think of, I try to make them as simple as I can. Without, I don't know. I just try to make them as simple as I can. And usually I'll come up with a joke at the very last second that's better than the one that I already had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah,
And so
to tell a whole joke with just one frame and usually just one line.
Right.
I mean, I have to tell a whole story, and then at the end, it's not even funny. So you got to,
I doubt that.
the whole joke in one frame. That's amazing. I tried it for a little while and was just like, this is too hard. too hard.
It's
Wait,
fun. Sometimes I think I dry up, but
Do you
it works.
just keep like, okay, well, I can't think of anything. I don't like this one, but it's Thursday. I'm gonna put one out and just do it anyway.
Well, invariably that'll be the one that gets the largest response. So yeah.
So
So I don't know myself. I don't know humor very well, I guess, because that's the one that people normally like better.
that's funny.
I'm reminded of the little comics that show up in the New Yorker.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with them, but 99% of them, I have no idea what they're trying to say.
I have had people tell me that about mine too.
Oh, I
I,
think
I
oh, go ahead.
what?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was sort of raised on those cartoons, so I do get them. I think right when I got out of college, I actually submitted to them, really not knowing any process or anything. And if you look at what I did back then, it was terrible. And, at times it's still terrible now. And it's not, the New Yorker is not something that I really strive to be in, but I did used to like those. Some of them are like little overly witty, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Uh,
I loved reading them. And I mean, some of them I was able to figure out pretty easily, but there were some that were just, I don't know. There was, oh, where you got? Just-
So we're looking at a moon bound. There's some astronauts on the moon, and they're walking up to like one of these moon bounce things that you see at the weekend carnivals. And one
Yeah.
astronaut says to the other, "This just seems so redundant." Yeah, that's pretty. I can see that one in the New Yorker.
Yeah, actually, I could see that one.
That's good. All right.
And
So,
part of that was just because I like, there's a lot of cartoons. I just like the way they look, that I do.
Uh,
Just the image. I like doing outer space images. I think I have quite a few of them. But um, I just like the way it looked, and I think I had like maybe 5 or 6 different jokes for that one, but then finally ended up with that one.
oh, okay.
so do you feel like you really love this one frame format?
Yeah,
Do you have any desire to explore other types of? Because when you just said like outer space, I'm like it'd be cool to just have like a graphic novel, a full story, of your artwork, some kind of goofy outer space story or something. Do you have any desire to do anything like that or something?
I wouldn't mind, if I could sustain, the humor,
Mm-hmm.
instead of having it build to something. If I could really get laughter, sort of ongoing during it, I
Mm-hmm.
would like to do it. I have been approached a little bit for animation,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I've never thought about animation before. I guess somebody from Nickelodeon had been uh, checking my site out, and I got to go in for a couple of meetings there
Wow.
about coming up with something animated but it was for children, and I didn't really come up with something. They laughed at what I did, but it wasn't really acceptable for them.
Well, yeah, you got props from me. That's awesome. Yeah. So you're Jim Luhan.
Oh yeah,
Has he inspired you at all to try animation? I mean, because when I had him on, I was like, or when we had him on, I was like, as soon as I get done with the project I'm on, I'm learning how to do animation
yeah,
because I
yeah.
mean, it's
He
cool.
hasn't. Yeah, he has inspired me, and especially with the direction that he's going right now, with Bill Plimpton
Hmm.
and I guess his stuff is going to appear on Adult Swim soon. Yeah, he inspires me quite a bit, and we meet maybe once every week or two, hang out.
Oh,
Um, and he's and his stuff is very funny.
yeah.
He makes me laugh. He's a
Okay,
good
well,
musician.
yeah, it was fun. He's real engaging to talk to as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, uh, anyway, we're at the part of the show where we tell some random events. I'm going to start off if that's all right. I wanted to just kind of go over some of our previous guests. Jim Luhan,
yeah.
he it looks like I'm just following, on Facebook and stuff what these guys are doing. Looks like he's starting production on his Bill Plimpton project.
Right. Right.
So it looks like a lot of fun. He's doing the voices, and they're auditioning voice
Yeah.
actors, and
In fact, David Urie's got to be in that.
there you go.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's going to be one of the voices.
Wow. We've got Ken Lemoog was one of our guests a while back, and he has a Kickstarter for his
First
project.
guest.
Yeah, he was our first guest. And he
Yeah.
was a great guest. So I can't wait to have him back on and see how his project's going. He has a Kickstarter for his children's book, Tales from Talbot to Luca, which is about these kids that go underground and going to get in adventures. And then Tom Wosicki is also in the middle of a Kickstarter campaign, which brings me to a question I actually would like to ask you, just see what you think of these Kickstarter campaigns. Do you know anything about these, Lonnie?
Yeah, I do. Actually, Keith Knight did one.
Yeah.
He got like 40 grand for it.
Right.
He actually did it. I prodded him to do it. So
You did.
I take responsibility for it, but I got no.
I watched his go down, and I was like 40,000, because I think he started off setting that goal of 40,000.
Yeah.
And
I got 43. Yeah.
I thought, are you kidding me? What?
Yeah.
Okay, what do I know? And bam, 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 bam. And
he was worried at first. He was really a little nervous because the numbers were going up a little slowly at first, but then he hit his stride like with about a week left, and it went up instantly. Yeah.
I mean, not that he doesn't deserve it, and that he doesn't have a lot of fans. He's hugely popular.
Yeah.
I didn't know that that would happen. So
Yeah.
it was awesome. What's that?
I got a couple friends here in the Lansing area that have used Kickstarter, and they've been successful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do like it. I haven't tried it. I've been tempted. Initially, I didn't feel like my viewership was high enough, but it's gone up, a decent amount. So I might do that. I've thought about doing Patreon also.
Right.
Which is sort of the same thing. But
I don't know how much he got he profited from me buying his books, but I like that transaction. I'll give him money. You give me a book. I hope he profited, because
I'm sure he. Yeah, and the Kickstarter project I was a teenage Michael Jackson impersonator.
Right.
I believe that's going to be coming out over summer. It's a graphic novel.
Right.
So he's been working on it every day since that Kickstarter. I mean,
now he's got to do the work.
Yeah, but he's really been working hard. So I know it's going to be good.
So you're a fan of the Kickstarter thing?
I am.
Okay. I'm not. I don't know
the-
what I think about it. I'm just.
I was given the link to it because a couple people told me that I should use it for my screenplay, try and get it made.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why not? Why not? I think the only thing that I don't like about it is if you don't get to your amount, you lose the money.
Yeah.
I
was going to say, my big problem is okay, I've got the money, now what? Where do I go to get, where do I go to find a director? Where do I find, well, I know where to find actors. We got 2 colleges here, so I'm sure students would, jump at the opportunity.
Yeah.
But other than, I wouldn't know where to get the equipment needed.
That's why you got to move. You got to move to Hollywood.
Yeah, I know. I just want to write it and be done with it. Let everyone else do all of it.
That's what I want to do. You have the same dream I do with my work.
Don't forget the get paid part.
That's right.
Yeah, no,
I want a publishing company just to see me and then take it and pay me and let me draw.
Make it rain.
That's right.
Just let me write it and let everyone else take it. And,
that's right.
And I'll reap the profits.
Huh.
I do think it's good, though. I do like Kickstarter. Patreon, for me is new. I only heard about it from Keith,
Uh-huh.
and that's, you don't lose the money, because it's like an ongoing crowdfunding thing. And I sort of like the idea of that. He's at $1,000 a month for that right now. So
Wow.
yeah, and that's
Well,
ongoing.
My approach has been I self-published the graphic novel through the on-demand printing at Amazon.com.
Yeah.
And I'm almost done with my second one. I want to get better, just skill-wise and storytelling-wise, and because I don't want to, get people, raise $40,000 and then put out a piece of junk.
Right, right.
I just don't feel like my skill level is there where I want it to be. It's the quality is not there where I want it to be.
Storytelling's the easy part, dude.
Well, not for me. It's all excruciating, but I like it.
Yeah, it's very excruciating. I mean, my story, the one, Rose, that went through, hell, I'm on my 13th rewrite.
Well, and putting your work out there is personal too. For people to see it. There's if there's the wrong kind of critique, it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, it can sometimes a critique can totally, from one person, can totally destroy a person's ambition.
Right.
Actually, that's kind of weird because it's the opposite for me. When I sent mine out to be critiqued, I was getting positive reviews back, and I didn't know how to take it.
Yeah, I can see that. I can understand that too.
I'm expecting horrible reviews, and everyone's complimenting me. One guy even took the time to send me an email and said, don't stop writing. This is excellent. And I'm like, I'm looking at it, kind of, taking it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
What's his angle? What is he trying to
do? So it sounds like you're going the right direction, though.
Yeah, I have a problem with positive feedback,
Mm-hmm.
Which some people might find strange, but
playing it cool. It's all right.
It'll stop in a second.
One time we were doing the show and my what happened, Al? My water heater came on.
Yeah, something like that. It sounded like a jet airplane flew through the house.
High tech stuff.
I got to take it off the hook. Hold on.
No problem. This is great. This is great footage right here, folks.
Here I
am. During this short little break, I'm going to have a beverage.
This is a good time to have a word from our sponsor, Summertime Ale from Atwater Brewery.
With a smile.
Awesome.
Anyway, so we were at Tom Bosicki. He has a Kickstarter for his children's book, which looks really cool. And then that's all I can think of right now. So anyway, I wanted to do that. I started on my little animation project over the past week or so. I did took me 5 hours. I worked on it. I had 7 seconds. So it was very rewarding. That's
what frightens me about animation.
He sent it to me and said, "Yeah, I need some music for this." And 7 seconds goes by. I'm like, dude, get a chord. It
was cool though. I did the sound effects. I went. And then
how long is it going to be?
About a minute.
A minute.
Yeah,
that's
quite. Yeah, it should take me probably 6 or 7 years.
I think I've got some ideas for music-wise because you said you wanted a rock sound to it.
Yeah, that's what I picture in my pea brain. So we'll see.
All right, I've been jumbling some things through my head.
All right,
and I might go through my roommate to help out.
Cool. All right, you got anything, Al?
I did, but I just lost it. What the heck happened?
We put Lonnie on the spot.
Yeah, really, actually, to tell you the truth, nothing really much happened. Just worked my butt off all week. I angered some MSU student girls.
Last week you got a kiss from one of them.
Yeah, it was complete opposite. For
It's the karma. It's like
yeah,
back
2
and
weeks
forth.
2
The
weeks
yin
ago.
and the yang of MSU girls.
So next
Two
week
weeks
get the
ago,
kids.
I see this girl struggling mowing her lawn. Her grass was at least 6 inches high. So I'm cruising by on my machine. I say, look, I'll do it for you. And so I did the lawn for her, and she runs back out and gives me a $5 bill and a kiss.
Oh,
And this past week, then
And then you cut her
we're out,
grass.
and there's these two girls laying out in the next yard over, and they looked at me like, who the hell do you think you are, interrupting our sunbathing, doing your job? And they were just giving me nasty looks. So I accidentally opened up my chute and blew dust all over. I just didn't like their attitude. So
yeah, no, that's I'm gonna have to do a cartoon about that.
Yeah, where is that one?
that's about it for me.
You want to share anything, Lonnie?
Something. What
Just
recent?
random, yeah, just random anything. What happened? Conventions,
I went
LA
to
traffic, anything.
I went to Vegas last weekend.
Yes.
And
I didn't figure you'd come back with any stories from there.
Oh, I went there. Boy, I guess I shouldn't use any names or anything. I went with 3 girls that I know. One's an ex-girlfriend, but they're just friends. Everybody's married and everything, but it was just me and them. And we got to stay at the Trump, hotel, and so that was a lot of fun. But so on the way back, my story is that there was a girl driving without a top on in the car on the way back. In the lane next to me. Yeah, so that was interesting. And then I got to see Rod Stewart sat at the restaurant next to me, and that was very
cool.
Yeah. So that's my recent story. Nobody thought it was really him, but it was actually him after everyone was getting his autograph. Everybody figured it out. And it was like a foot away, like for the whole meal.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah. He's like 90.
Hey, Paul, let me add real quick. I did see someone, I don't know if they have a problem in your cities, but in Lansing, we get these guys holding up signs on street corners.
Yeah.
I'm homeless. Anything helps. God bless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one of them get arrested today.
Really?
Really?
What
Yeah.
Just no
Did the
panhandling?
sign say something different?
But I had seen him earlier in the day in East Lansing, and then today when I was driving through Lansing, miles away from where I originally saw him, he was getting arrested for something. I don't know.
Huh.
So that's good. He deserved it.
His sign said he was homeless. Well, not anymore.
Right. Yeah, he has a place to stay.
Oh,
he can get
3
some meals.
squares.
I know. I hated that guy.
You
called the cops.
He made me so mad.
Bad is one time we offered one of those guys a job. It said, "Look, we'll work." He said his sign said he will work. So we offered him a job. He said no.
He didn't really. That was actually his name, though. Will work.
Will work.
So that was like it's probably.
that could, if you can work that into one frame. See, that's what I can't do. Is how you I think you'll come up with it, but that would be like 6 frames for me.
I'll work on it. If you see it, you'll know that it was inspired by you guys.
will work.
Awesome. We'll sue you for royalties.
No, I'll gladly split the amount of money I get for each cartoon.
And the women.
Yeah.
share the groupies.
I'll share them all. Yeah, I'll share the group.
Good. All right, man. It's been awesome talking to you, Lonnie. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed it. Get these books.
Okay. How many books do you have out?
I have 4 books. I'm working on the 5th one now.
Okay. Yeah. How many pages can you get?
About 140 each book.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And then probably by July, I'm going to have a little partial book. It's called God. You know,
Yeah,
so
I saw that. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to work on it, flesh it out a little bit. So,
Yeah, Al, check it out on his website.
yeah.
The story behind that one, you might like it.
All right.
Al looks for controversial.
That will be the most controversial thing that I will do.
Yeah.
I'll probably
His
enjoy
name is really, Gary Omar Dixon is really, that's an acronym for God. So it's just, that's his real name is Gary.
I gotta remember that. That's classic.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
All right, this has been the Beige Planet Podcast. I'm Paul Pate.
I'm Al Lawrence.
Lonnie Millsap. Check him out.
Peace.
LonnieMillsap.com.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Good night.